In the last episode, on the trail for Magda, we locate the Kasim outpost out in the desert. Unfortunately, Captain David and the Iron Wolves have been held prisoner and replaced by shape-shifting serpents in the employ of the Lord of Lies, Belial himself. Liberating the outpost, we then speak to Captain David about unlocking the gate so that we can finally hunt down and corner the witch Magda, and he says,
"Has Magda reached ALCARNUS?"
"Yes, we've heard rumours of a horrible slaughter there."
"Then time is short. Please, open this gate."
With that, Captain David obliges our request, and the path to ALCARNUS is clear. We step outside of Kasim's outpost and see another sun-bleached corpse. Fury creeps up and we state,
"ALCARNUS is close. I'm coming, Magda."
We now have crossed over to the eastern side of the stinging winds, hugging the jagged mountain, trying to find our way through the desert, lest we become another victim of the heat or the champion dune stingers that fast approach.
Look, just over there. I never imagined such a creature. Revel in your victory, my friend.
Killing the Coven and Magda doesn't seem very difficult as we hug the lip of a cliff, mainly follow the trail of corpses slittered about. It's not long before we happen upon an outpost and one of the Coven's favoured demons, a pain monger, which they seem to summon whenever gathered in any form of group. And like clockwork, the Coven slink onto the scene, daggers bared, but without their demonic allies, are not much of a threat. We enter the north gate of ALCARNUS and are shocked to see a gruesome display, bodies in a wholesale slaughter hung about like decorations. Just south we find more bodies and a waypoint in the center of the town. The town itself is eerily empty, and just to the east by the wall we find another of Cain's satchels.
Duriel is the twin of Andariel. I believe that they conspired together to assist Diablo in releasing Mephisto and Baal, though they had both supported the lesser evils in the past. The Lord of Pain was found guarding Baal's prison, the tomb of Tal Rasha, when he was slain by heroes.
To the west, we find a gaggle of pain-mongers, hellions, and cultists that undoubtedly summon them. But there's no real show of force here, and as we explore further to the south, we find more man-made barricades and wagons, instead of the illusions which the Coven had been reliant upon. It seems that any pretense of subterfuge or subtlety has been totally dropped, and the Lord of Lies has his limits as he shows his hand with wanton destruction, death, and misery. A scary imposition indeed, as a liar would only quit lying if they believed they'd already won. And we soon see why, facing the guardian Shatterbone that bars our way. Shatterbone is the acolyte of torment, a mini-boss super unique dark berserker which guards the entrance to ALCARNUS with his giant mace and no doubt earned his name. Much larger and faster than a normal berserker, his attacks are generally empowered, and although killing him is not required for the City of Blood quest, the fight itself is hardly avoidable.
Treasure!
Dispatching the unique gatekeeper, Shatterbone, the bloody path to ALCARNUS is now clear. Across the bridge we see at the western entrance a statement of unholy proportion. Corpses in more number than we can count are left to rot, and we find live prisoners caged in the city. Magda's Coven, if left to their own devices, transform into gruesome creatures and must be put down quickly. We then take the time to complete our side quest of freeing 8 prisoners from their cages before they succumb to the Coven's clutches as a pack of thralls attempts to overwhelm us. Contending with the Coven, we then set about freeing the prisoners, and they say,
"I cannot thank you enough."
Take solace, friend. We will free the others.
In response, the Coven panicked, feverishly cast their spell.
Help us! You can't leave us here!
I'll free you.
With the area now safe, we set about freeing the prisoners.
Oh, thank you.
May your wounds heal swiftly, friend.
The prisoners now safe, we then have to contend with the deluge of Coven in the midst of their rituals as they try and bar our path. Their efforts in vain as we cut a bloody swath through their remaining forces. Their petty incantations and blood magics rendered all but useless in the face of this searing judgment of the light. It's at the northwestern side of the city, by burning debris and more corpses hanging, we finally find a blood trail that leads into the lair of the witch, and no doubt our fated confrontation with Magdha herself. Inside the lair of the witch, drawbridge behind us closes. It seems the trap is sprung, but no Magdha in sight. We're in a large cross-shaped room. Spikes cover the surrounding areas, and if we fall, it will be to our deaths. It's then, as if on cue, Magdha appears.
The light have mercy upon you, Magda, for I will not.
It matters not. While you hunted me, Belial's Imperial Guard captured your little witch Leah. Soon, her power shall be his.
It's then Magda's vicious assault begins. As the battle is in a large arena filled with impassable pillars and pits, we have no choice but to stay away from the spikes and try and keep the battle in the middle of the arena. Magda, not defenseless, has a plethora of abilities at her disposal. Between summoning cultists and demons to her side, she's known to spit flies at a close hero dealing low damage, or summons a swarm of flies who will then make progress towards a distant hero. This causes average damage upon contact, but the swarm does not disappear on impact, piercing through heroes and obstacles, and can then turn back to hit the same target again. Each swarm lives for about roughly 6 to 7 seconds, and after Magda loses at least 50% health, damage of this attack increases visibly by sinister purple glow of each swarm. She also uses the ability Vessels of Chaos every 30 seconds. Magda is known to summon 10 to 15 corrupted vessels scattered around the arena, who begin the transformation ritual and eventually become possessed, and ultimately much more of a threat in packs. And last but not least, summoning. Every 25% of life lost, Magda will summon variants of the cultists fought throughout Act 1 to 2, as well as 3 Dark Berserkers on top of this. All of these beings possess the same actions as the normal variants, but heroes should be forewarned that the second wave of Dark Berserkers, summoned at 50%, will have Frozen, and a third wave of Dark Berserkers will sport the Molten attribute.
It is done, King.
She was consumed by shadow. It pains me to see it.
With the dark deed done, Magda is no more, and Kane's soul can rest easier. We pick up the various loot from Magda's corpse, most of which is mirroring Magda herself, mostly unremarkable. It's then we're broken from our inner musings, standing on top of a ceremonial symbol of blood, and remember, Magda spoke of Belial taking over the city of Chaldeum, and now has Leah in his grasp, claiming she'll become some sort of vestige to add to his power. We cannot allow that to happen, and portal back to the hidden camp to meet Tyrael, and hopefully it's not too late.
As she died, Magda swore Belial would rule all. I will not let that happen.